Today, I'm at the Norton Simon Museum in Pasadena. In all the years I've lived here, I have never been to this museum, but it is a world-class museum and I am so looking forward to going in. The parking here is free, which is not true at all of LA's museums. The museums themselves will be free, like the Getty or the Broad, but they charge for parking. Here, the parking is free, but you pay for the museum. They also have this amazing outdoor sculpture garden before you even get inside. So if you don't want to pay the fee to come in and you're just looking for a little bit of art, come out here and walk around the outside sculpture garden. Most of these sculptures are by the French sculptor Rodin. It's pretty amazing to see such awesome work out here. But there are a few contemporary sculptures on either side of the Rodins. The museum is closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays, it's open from noon till 5. And on Fridays and Saturdays, it's open from noon till 7. Membership is on one side of the entrance, admission on the other. Once you get your ticket, you're going to want to get a visitor's guide, which will help you navigate through the museum. They have pieces from the 14th through the 20th century. My personal preference for art is 19th, 20th, and 21st century, so that's where I'm going to focus. The first gallery on the left is the 19th century. It has a number of small Edgar Degas sculptures. During his lifetime, he kept his sculptures private, and only after his death were his wax sculptures found and cast as bronze to preserve them. I'll be honest, I wasn't aware that Degas was a sculptor. I'm more familiar with his paintings of ballerinas, like these. This is a painting by Vincent van Gogh called The Mulberry Tree that I have never seen before. It is stunning. His style evolved with these bold brushstrokes and thick paint at Saint-Rémy-du-Provence Asylum, where he painted his most famous paintings. This is a piece of art that Vincent van Gogh did of his mother from a photograph that he got. The photograph was in black and white and he wanted to give it some color. Well, he did. Sickly green. Some of that is because the red pigments have faded over time, but he did write that he didn't really like this, and I'll be honest, I have to agree with him on that. This wall contains several more Van Goghs painted in 1884 and 1885. Let's continue to the next gallery. Degas, Renoir, Pissarro, Cezanne, and this is the period that I love. I mean, just look at the colors on these paintings. It makes me want to become an artist. All of the artwork here has non-reflective glass in front of it, so that does two things. First, you can get up really close to see the brush strokes, and you're not going to have someone saying, step away from the picture. And two, it helps against those crazy eco-terrorists who are throwing soup cans on pieces of art. Appreciating art sometimes means just sitting and enjoying it for a little bit, really taking it in, and they have benches that you can sit down and do exactly that. The lights are significantly dimmed in this next gallery. This gallery is darkened because it contains pastels and gouaches and pigments and papers that are sensitive to light. So keeping the light low helps preserve these. I got a little too close to this sculpture and an alarm went off. So security guard came over and said, back away. This is Degas's most famous sculpture. It's the only one he exhibited during his lifetime. It was cast as bronze after he died, but While he was alive, it was a wax figure using a real rehearsal skirt, real ballet slippers to make it look realistic, and he got a lot of criticism for that. So after that first exhibit, he never displayed it again. Next, we head to the 20th Century Gallery. This is Picasso's Head of a Woman, painted in 1927. I would have guessed it's head of a horse, but head of a woman. The mouth has the stitches across it, which it suggested that he was frustrated with his marriage, and that inspired the mouth on this. This is an example of the type of painting you really just want to sit and take in for a while. It was painted in 1914, 1915 by Feininger, who's an American in Berlin. I just finished reading The Mars House by Natasha Pulley, and this sculpture reminds me of her description of the humans who have been born and have been on Mars for several generations. Long, tall. From here, we head outside. The museum encircles this amazing courtyard that has a cafe in one corner. It's got this beautiful lake in the center and a path that takes you around through the sculpture garden. So let's take a walk on this path and see these amazing sculptures. This is a sculpture called Air by French sculptor Aristide Maillol, who was a contemporary of Rodin. Compare the beauty and simplicity of this sculpture to the rough, manly, and sometimes incomplete sculptures of Rodin. While not as well known, Maillol reintroduced classical principles to sculpting and was highly influential to a new generation of sculptors who kept the beauty and simplicity of form, but created more abstract works. This sculpture is a Renoir. I did not even know that Renoir did sculptures. There are a lot of places along the path where you can stop and sit and just enjoy being outside and enjoy the sculptures. That was fantastic. There was so much there I still didn't get to see. I breezed through the downstairs Southeast Garden, Southeast Asian sculpture garden, which looked amazing, but I didn't really have time to stay for that. I skipped the 14th, 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries altogether. Find your adventure. Thank you for watching.